Good morning. Welcome to Phoenix City Hall. I want to thank you all for joining us. I'm excited to be here with our Vice Mayor of the City of Phoenix, state legislators, and leaders of the community that makes Phoenix a welcoming city. It is wonderful to be here with leaders who have worked so hard to ensure refugees have the advocacy and resources they need to navigate their new lives. As America's fastest growing big city, we have welcomed a lot of people who were not born here, but who have had a great future here. It is part of what has made us an amazing city, and it's a real point of pride for me that we have welcomed so many refugees. But they have also helped us become that great city, whether it be powering our airport. The Dean of the Thunderbird School of Global Management is a refugee. We have an amazing architect who helped design one of our important public safety buildings in the city of Phoenix. The city of Phoenix has enjoyed our partnerships with the organizations that support the refugee community throughout the years, but particularly during tough times with COVID-19. The organizations who are here today helped us make sure we got out aid to the community, whether it be rental assistance or just support navigating great challenges. We have partnered on a variety of different projects. A favorite of mine that you'll hear about more than once today is our mobile career unit, which it can go out into the community, at churches, libraries, and schools, and help people find not just a job, but a career that will be satisfying. I got to join with the Vice Mayor and the International Rescue Committee when we did an event focused on our refugee, and was even able to make offers to individuals who are working at the City of Phoenix, helping our Parks Department better serve young people. The event was a little bit sobering because they could not all be photographed, since some of them were facing threats with their families still in Afghanistan. So that was a harsh reminder that so many of our refugees come here after really overcoming terrible odds, and that their family members are not all safe today. We will continue to working towards that goal. This work takes a village, and that's why I am proud to support the New American Study Committee legislation at the state level. I commend those who served in our legislature who have worked on that effort. We are also continuing to work at the City of Phoenix, including to establishing a permanent office. I'll just close by asking that everyone watching at home spread the word about the August 10th Resource Fair at Alhambra High School from 5 to 8 p.m. And now I get to welcome someone who's a huge advocate for all immigrants and refugees and has been working overtime to make sure that we do a good job. Please welcome our Vice Mayor Ansari.
Thank you so much, Mayor Gallego, for your leadership. Good morning, everyone. I'm Phoenix Vice Mayor Yassamin Ansari. I'm the proud daughter of Iranian immigrants who came to this country in the 1970s amidst a war, and have been a lifelong advocate for asylum seekers and refugees. Spent many of my school breaks growing up and summers and semesters in college working at refugee camps. And now I'm extremely honored to be serving the 5th largest and fastest growing city in the country, especially at a pivotal time like this when we continue to be a welcoming city. A city that with recent investments, we can proudly say refugees and immigrants are not only welcome in Phoenix, but will have the opportunities to thrive in Phoenix. The current state, just want to talk a little bit about the numbers in terms of people who've come to Phoenix and Maricopa County. Since October 1st of 2022, Maricopa County has welcomed 3,898 new Americans, majority of whom have resettled in the city of Phoenix. In March of 2023, I was proud to work with colleagues in establishing the Office of Refugee Support, which will identify and address issues related to the needs of refugees and vulnerable immigrants. And more importantly, it will help them navigate the resources that the city already does offer in partnership with our great organizations like the International Rescue Committee, Catholic Charities, Lutheran Social Services, and more. The office has already invested $8.3 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds, otherwise known as ARPA, to expand resettlement programs and services for refugees and immigrants who relocate to our neighborhoods. and we've advocated for them at all levels of government. Earlier this year, I joined Mayor Gallego and the IRC for a roundtable discussion with the U.S. Assistant Secretary for the Bureau of Population, Refugees, and Migration. These are immigrants who are fleeing war and conflict for the opportunity for a better life. They want to work hard and contribute to society. They are a highly educated population very often that diversify and strengthen the fabric of our city. 1 in every 4 new Americans with college degrees experience skill underutilization in the United States. That's very important to note because there's so many opportunities if we work with them to make sure that they have the opportunities to thrive. And 21.9% of new Americans are entrepreneurs. During the last couple years, Mayor Gallego mentioned the Afghan refugees who've come to the United States following the U.S. withdrawal and the Taliban's takeover of the country. I've spent the last 2 years engaging directly with Afghan women, moms, students about the challenges that they're facing when it comes to integrating in the state of Arizona. From language barriers to simply attaining a driver's license or the proper mental health care after the trauma that they've undergone, there are small and big picture policy that we can prioritize to help ensure their overall success. I'm very grateful that the Honorable Steve Kaiser stepped up to the plate to ensure that the state of Arizona also recognizes this and puts forth new solutions through SB 1563, the New American Study Committee. In the near future, my goal would be to turn this into a full-fledged Office of New Americans or Office of Refugee Support. The name is still not final. Currently, we have 1 refugee navigator position that works in tandem with our local nonprofits and various sectors of government. Looking at the projections for the upcoming fiscal year, we are going to continue to welcome new Americans. Between October 1st, 2023 and September 30th, 2024, we expect that 7,434 new arrivals will be coming to Maricopa County, and the majority of these will continue to be resettled in Phoenix. We have a duty to continue to provide proactive policy that will strengthen our economy and deliver the promise of a better life to these individuals. I'm very honored to be able to do that alongside partners like the International Rescue Committee Arizona chapter. And with that, it's my pleasure to welcome IRC Executive Director Aaron Rippenkroger.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Ansari. It's an honor to be here with you today and with all of you. I am with the International Rescue Committee, a nonprofit that helps newly arrived refugees integrate and thrive in their new communities. I'm here along with Connie Phillips, the CEO and President for Lutheran Social Services of the Southwest, and Kitty Marquez, Program Manager with Catholic Charities. And we are, on behalf of our agencies, we want to thank Mayor Gallego, Vice Mayor Ansari, Senator Bravo, former Senator Kaiser for helping lead the way for the families and the communities that we serve here in Arizona. Refugees have played a vital role in the Arizona story for decades, bringing with them so much more than the things they carry. Among these is Omid Hakimi, his wife Humaida, and their 3 children, who were welcomed in Arizona in 2021 as part of Operation Allies Welcome. In Afghanistan, Omid worked as an assistant for the U.S. Army's National Security Advisor, and Humaida worked as a school teacher, gaining skills and experience that would be of great value in any community around the world. Once they arrived in Arizona, Omid began working part-time as an Uber driver and an Amazon delivery person. But then Omid had to have an emergency surgery and could not continue working during his recovery. Fortunately, with the resources that we received from the City's American Rescue Plan Act Fund, we were able to provide targeted assistance to the Hakimi family to make sure that they could stay in their home, support their children, and we were also able to connect Humaida with the city's mobile career unit program, where she was hired on as an after-school specialist with the city. Both Omid and Humaida are healthy, working, and contributing to their new community today. And these are the types of targeted interventions that all of our organizations can provide thanks to our partnership with the city. And we look forward to sharing more information about that at the Resource Fair next week and to growing our ongoing collaboration with the city's new Office of Refugee Support. At the state level, I want to again commend the legislatures and the governor for passing Arizona Senate Bill 1563, the New American Study Committee. It's another example of the long bipartisan tradition we have for welcoming refugees in Arizona, and it recognizes that the new American talent pool in Arizona holds a wealth of skills and experience that we must maximize on, not only for the new Americans, but also given the labor needs and the labor shortages we have in Arizona's growing industries. We are immensely grateful for the city and the state's investment in and the commitment to our new neighbors as they contribute to our vibrant Arizona communities. Their resilience and ambition, along with the state and city support, will strengthen their journey towards becoming new Americans and strengthen our community and our country for the future. So it's my honor now to introduce former Senator Steve Kaiser, who has played such a central role in these efforts in recent years.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. Thank you for everyone being here. Thank you for city leadership. Appreciate your support in all this. My name is Steve Kaiser, former state senator from LD2, which is North Phoenix. And really, the reason I've been so passionate about the refugee population in Arizona kind of has two fronts. So growing up here in Phoenix, I was actually an exchange student 3 different times, one of which was through the Sister Cities program here in Phoenix. And so I've always been fascinated and intrigued by foreign cultures, and being an exchange student and having that interest led me to a branch in the U.S. Army called Civil Affairs. And I served in Afghanistan as a captain and civil affairs team leader, and my whole job was to develop relationships with local Afghan leaders, whether they're government leaders, village elders, understand the human terrain in the areas that we were operating in, build relationships with them, and then we would actually do projects like build roads, clinics, schools, things like that. And I couldn't do that without interpreters, because I did not speak the language. There was multiple languages there, and a lot of them did not speak English, and so interpreters were such a critical role. And we were part of what was called a provincial reconstruction team. So it was a mix of Army and Air Force, Reserve and active duty. And we had a pool of interpreters, probably 10 to 12 attached to our unit. And they rode alongside with us every day. We had one interpreter that was always with me inside in the meetings, another interpreter always outside with the security. And we would do everything together. And so you become very close with your interpreters. And when I finished my tour in 2008, I came home and I stayed in touch with all my interpreters through messaging apps like Facebook and WhatsApp, things like that. And we got several of them from 2008 to 2021-ish into the United States through the regular process. However, when Afghanistan fell, it was a very dangerous time for interpreters, as you all know, because the Taliban was targeting them because they were so close to Americans, and because their role was so important to getting the job done. Because when you're fighting an insurgency, the best way to fight an insurgency is to build relationships with the people. And so they knew that was a critical piece. And so they wanted to harass and kill any interpreters they could still find. So one of my interpreters, along with me and the other guys that we served with, we helped get him out, along with our Congressman David Schweikert, helped a great deal. Him and his family got out of Afghanistan barely. In fact, he was negotiating with the gate guards when they were still U.S. Marines, hundreds of people at the gate. He went to the gate, waved his papers, and the U.S. Marines brought him in, and they said, okay, get on the plane, you gotta go. There's hundreds of people outside the gate, keep in mind. He said, I can't go, I have to go back and get my family. And they said, if you come back, there's no guarantee we're still gonna be at the gate. So he left to get his family, and he went to a side gate, but when he got there, the Taliban was now the gate guards. If you can believe that. There's still U.S. Marines on the base, and there's Taliban as gate guards. And so he had to very kind of quietly stand off in the background until the Marines, for whatever reason, came back up to the guard, and the Taliban left the guard post, and then he got his whole family through. So that's how harrowing it was for these interpreters to get out. Because if the Taliban had found out he was an interpreter, they would have killed him on the spot. And there's nothing the Marines could have done. So he gets here to the United States after months in Germany, getting verified and vetted, and he spends months in Virginia. And then we fought hard to get him here to Arizona, because I knew the cost of living would be the best place for him to live. They were trying to send him to Boston, and I thought it'd be better to have him here because he's got a support network and the cost of living is better. And so he came here and I kind of became his de facto sponsor, trying to help him through the process. And that's when I realized the process is all over the place. There's city resources, state resources, there's a million agencies and nonprofits. And I asked, what is the list of resources he gets and what are the resources he doesn't get? And I couldn't even get that answer. And at the time I was an elected official in state government, and I still couldn't open any doors. And so I knew there was a massive problem with efficiency for refugees coming here, getting them up to speed and getting them adequate housing and jobs right away. So we started this process last year, not this last session, but a year before last session, with a proclamation honoring military interpreters, because there was a lot of public angst about Afghans coming here. There's a large wave of them. Some folks were concerned, and so we wanted to make sure we had a very public presence saying, these are our allies and friends, and we will support them with everything we have. And so we started with that proclamation. And then during the interim, I became very close with the International Rescue Committee, and we said, what can we do about making things more efficient? And as we discussed a bill idea, it came very quickly realized that this is such a complex issue, it deserves a study committee. And I know the city folks will agree with me that sometimes the legislature pushes things down that they don't fully think about. And we have very short amount of time in the legislature to actually debate and discuss bills. So you'll be appreciative of the fact that I said, slow down, let's do a study committee. At least once in my life I did that. And so we decided to do a study committee, and we call it the New American Study Committee. Other states have done this, so we used other state legislation as kind of a model. And really, we just wanted to get all the people together in a room after session, all the state agencies, nonprofits, community groups, members, and discuss, okay, where are the gaps? What are the roadblocks? How can we smooth things out, make it more streamlined? And so that's the goal of what we're doing. And I was very excited to see we had super majority support in both chambers, which was really exciting. This is not a partisan issue. This is a bipartisan issue. In fact, most of the no votes were people that just hate study committees, if you can believe that. And these are experienced legislators, but some people just hate study committees. I love study committees. I think we should be digging into these complex topics more deeply. So what we hope to accomplish at the end of this is solutions. And it doesn't have to be legislative solutions. It could be agency solutions. So we could find that an agency could streamline and tweak things without any legislation needed. It could be legislation. The agency may need state law to change the rulemaking process to do something. It could be something at the executive level too. The governor could be involved. The governor will have a member on the committee as well. So it could be an executive task force or agency solution. So we're very open to any solutions, but we know we have all the right people in the room to find solutions, which is going to be great. And I just want to thank all the refugees who have already come to Arizona and who will be coming to Arizona. The ones that are already here have contributed greatly. I love hearing 22% of refugees are small business owners and entrepreneurs. I mean, that is the pathway to wealth in America, and I love hearing that. So I just want to thank you and let you know that you're welcome here, and we love having you here, and we're here to support you. So thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Flavio Bravo, and I serve as the State Senator for Legislative District 26. Arizona's 26th Legislative District is home to many refugee communities, and I am proud that our state recognizes the benefit that they bring to Arizona. Through the newly formed bipartisan New American Study Committee, we have a unique opportunity to ensure that our state agencies and nonprofit partners are successful in removing the barriers many refugees face during their resettlement process. Together, we can make sure that our state is a place where refugee communities can thrive for generations to come. A priority for this study committee is that we bring the policy conversations front and center to the community. As such, we are kicking off our work with the Refugee Community Resource Fair next Thursday, August 10th at 5 p.m. at Alhambra High School here in Phoenix. In partnership with the City of Phoenix, the International Rescue Committee, Lutheran Social Services of the Southwest, Catholic Charities Community Services, and the Arizona Immigrant and Refugee Services, we extend an invitation to our refugee neighbors to receive support and resources for housing, medical and dental services, employment, legal services, food and transportation, as well as ESL courses. And it brings me great enthusiasm and honor to not only be a part of this new legislative study committee, but also to be collaborating with these historic organizations on behalf of our refugee communities across Arizona. So with that, I just want to say thank you.